Good afternoon, everyone. Picture this. It's your average Tuesday night. It's 8 p.m., and you've just started working on that project that you had 4 weeks to do. And you're drowning in self-loathing and stress and regret because you had 4 entire weeks to work on that project. And you're starting now, the night it's due. And it's not like you forgot about it. You wrote it down on your to-do list. You had every intention of doing it, but the idea of it scared you. You knew exactly how you wanted it. You knew that in order to make it good, it would take time and effort. Maybe you even knew how to do it better than everyone else. But most of all, you knew that you could never raise it to the standard of perfection that you set it for yourself. This is why you hadn't started until now. This is just one of the many scenarios that perfectionists like me face every day. But what is perfectionism? Perfectionism is the drive to strive to appear and feel perfect, which is good, right? Wrong. In psychology, perfectionism is categorized as a broad personality trait characterized by the need to strive and strive for flawlessness and perfection, as well as a concern for others' opinions and a very critical self-evaluation, which basically means you're being way too hard on yourself. And let's talk about perfection. What is perfection? Is it even possible to reach perfection? It's an idealistic but impossible concept to execute. We trick our brains into thinking that it is in fact possible, and therefore we are not good enough. Who here has ever felt at some point in their lives not good enough? See what I mean? Our brains trick us into thinking it actually is possible, but we're not doing it, so something wrong with us, you know? And perfectionism has the capability from stopping us before we've even started, to stop us from even trying. And it's becoming a rising problem in the world, especially with social media and its prevalence in our society today. But is it even possible to be completely perfect? Well, of course not. This is the struggle. And perfection is subjective. It means different things to different people. And try as you may to define perfection, at first you might draw a blank. For example, one day during my art lesson, my lovely art teacher, I love you, Ms. Ivania, she was interrogating me about my art project, and I was in distress. And I told her, but I want it to be perfect, I need it to be perfect. And she asked me, what even is perfection? And I became speechless. I struggled to come up with an answer. I mumbled something about getting a good grade. But this just goes to show that when we are striving for perfection, sometimes we aren't even sure what that is. Just as individuals strive for perfection and struggle with the concept of perfectionism, societies grapple with the concept of utopia. A perfect society is called a utopia, a state, place, or condition that is ideally perfect in respect of politics, laws, customs, and conditions. There are many different theories about this, but they often involve things like perpetual harmony, peace, self-fulfillment, and liberty. And of course, religion and political ideologies influence these things. However, utopianism is often criticized. as the establishment of a perfect society is seen as too idealistic. We have, throughout history, humans have shown that we actually haven't been able to live together in complete peace and harmony, and we've never actually witnessed the establishment of a utopia. And so that's what, another criticism is that people have very different ideas of what a utopian world should look like. Same thing with perfection. What is a utopia? What is perfection? And since the concept of utopia is so subjective, we can never really please everybody. And so how are we supposed to create a utopia then? Some also argue that if we try to be perfect in one area of society, we'll end up sacrificing the other areas without meaning to. Not to mention the fact that utopian ideas and the differences between them has caused tension in ideologies, between religions, cultures, and countries, as we've seen throughout history and still today. And so that has left many people thinking it's just simply not possible. We can't make a utopia. That is called anti-utopianism, my friends. Anti-utopianism that argues that the optimistic nature of humans, the optimistic view of human nature is misguided. That we can't actually make a utopia because it's never been done before. And so it's pointless to even try when human nature is quote unquote not inherently good. Well, I don't agree with that. I believe there is some valid critique in anti-utopianism, but I believe that we shouldn't stop trying just because it's not possible and never been done before. Actually, a funny thing is that utopia and dystopia, they both have the same aim. They are vastly different visions of the future, but they both have the same aim: to motivate us to be better and make a better world in different ways. Utopia inspires us and gives us hope for the future and gives us this ideal vision and how we can do it. Dystopia warns us of the dangers of what we can become and emphasizes the dangers of corruption, apathy, neglection, losing control, and disasters. And so both are trying to motivate us, to show us our possible futures. It is really up to us what we want to become. Now, let's bring an android from a utopia into the mix. This is Data. Data is an android from Star Trek, The Next Generation, and his ultimate purpose, his ultimate goal is to understand what it means to be human, to be as human as possible. What does it mean to be truly human? And he experiments with different things like arts and literature and other things. And throughout his journey, he struggles with the concept of emotions, like what are they? How do people feel emotions and what causes them to arise? Also, he struggles with the concept of humor, like why do people laugh at some things and not others? What makes something funny? He's such a calculated being, such a logical being that he can't completely grasp these things. Anyway, in one of my favorite episodes, specifically episode 16 of season 3, Data creates this android daughter for himself. Her name is Lal. And in the episode, Lal realizes that she will never be able to feel emotions, and therefore never be fully human. And she asks Data, why do you still try to emulate humans? What purpose does it serve other than to remind you that you are incomplete? And Data says this most profound quote: "It is the struggle itself that is most important. We must strive to be more than we are, Lal. It does not matter that we will never reach our ultimate goal. The effort yields its own rewards. Let that sink in, please. And so, I say it's time for a modern revolution. The fear of being imperfect shouldn't hinder our own development and self-improvement as individuals and as societies. We don't need to be perfect. We just need to try. The effort itself yields its own rewards. We need to stop idealizing perfection and start appreciating effort and passion and dedication and hope for the future. And so, this way we begin eliminating feelings of wasted potential and regret because we have been trying and we put in effort. And so this is my advice to apply this to your daily life. Whenever you're giving your all to something, a project, a test, anything, remember that what matters is not the end result, no matter how good or bad it is. What matters is the effort, the dedication that you put into it. And even if the result ended up bad, that doesn't mean your effort was wasted. Perhaps someday you'll be able to apply that newfound knowledge, skills, and learned lessons somewhere else in life. And so don't feel bad if you didn't get the result you wanted. Your effort was not wasted. And if you tried your best, if you did your best, that's all that matters. It was worth it. Congratulations, you should be proud of yourself. And so I'd like to end my talk on this note. If you gave it your all, it's always good enough. Thank you.